Learning is the key to successful investing, and who doesn't want to invest in some way?
Here at L.E.A.R.N Grow Invest, we focus on financial education, all with the aim of sharing our knowledge on personal finance, investing, and building wealth. We do this on the foundation of our faith in God.
If a more holistic approach is what you need, check out our Grow Faith-Based Financial Coaching Program.
Find out more about us at learngrowinvestclub.com
and follow us on all social media platforms at L.E.A.R.N Grow Invest. Learning is the key to successful investing, and who doesn't want to invest in some way?
Here at L.E.A.R.N Grow Invest, we focus on financial education, all with the aim of sharing our knowledge on personal finance, investing, and building wealth. We do this on the foundation of our faith in God.
If a more holistic approach is what you need, check out our Grow Faith-Based Financial Coaching Program.
Find out more about us at learngrowinvestclub.com
and follow us on all social media platforms at L.E.A.R.N Grow Invest.
All right, welcome to another Stocks to Watch episode. Now, this year, 2024, at the point that we're recording this, was an amazing year for stocks, both in Jamaica and overseas, as in the US markets. And I don't believe I've ever had a year where I've gotten this much in dividends or this much in capital gains. And that is realized gains, because I took just probably the largest amount of profit I've ever taken from a stock in a long time, right? And so I'm very, very excited to go through this episode because I think it'll be a good one. I see in the chat where some persons assume what I'm going to say, but it's cool. It's all right. It's good. Limitless thinks it's going to be a short episode. We will see. Gavin Sharp is saying it can't be short because there are too many gems on the market, which I agree. And I'll tell you, so we're going to go through 6 stocks to watch tonight. And it was very hard because I guess I can see, if even for a second, why somebody would have like 20 stocks. Because right now, the way things are looking, there are a lot of opportunities. But that's just a thought. I would not ever again have 20 stocks in my portfolio. But you get the idea. Sean says TransJamaica, RPL, Tropical, Wisinko, Wigton, and JSE. I don't know if I have any of those. We'll see, right? Let me see what those over Instagram saying. Okay, nobody's saying theirs yet. But I'm actually going to do this, right? Before I even get into my episode, I want to ask you, what's your stock to watch for 2025, right? Because I want to see, and I'm going to pick one of them or the one that I see the most in the chat, whether here or on IG, for a review if we have time at the end, right? So yeah, let's get into this episode, right? So if you're new to this channel, new to our stocks to watch, what we do is go through stocks that we have on our watch list. Now, watch list doesn't mean that it's in my portfolio. That's full disclosure there. Now, usually when it's on my watch list, at some point, if the timing is right, I will make a decision to buy, and that's just, personal. It's my stocks to watch. And in this case, I'm not. Unfortunately, I don't have any guests tonight. It's just me. So everything that you see and hear tonight is it's literally on my watch list right now, and I'm just waiting for the right price. Right. Once I see the right price, I shall be buying. Okay. So before I get started, and let's see. Hey, Kodian, good to see you. Let me see here. Gart Grant, good to see you as well. It's been a while. Something Tropical Battery, TransJamaica, Tropical and GK, Wigton, TransJamaica, Proven, and NCB. The Diplomat, you always have some interesting picks. L.E.A.R.N, great company. And just reach from work, German Medifend, TransJamaica Careers, and Cygnus. Your stocks to watch, Sean, is TransJamaica, Tropical, L.E.A.R.N, Indies, Wisinko, and JSC. Let me see if anybody on IG. Hey, Roscoe. So Roscoe, this video is I'm not gonna have any offers. Well, maybe, but this is our stocks to watch episode, and so this is purely for this is our community building episode. This is one where everybody is able to rally around what we're seeing on the markets. And so, yeah, this is going to be a fun one. All right. So Kodian says, not sure about NCB, to be honest, but I want to hear what I have to say. Let's see if enough persons say NCB, I'll share my thoughts. All right. And my Johnny, hopefully I pronounced that right. Very interesting name. Watching Wigton and One Great Studio. Okay. Feel like SGJ, I can never remember, is it Sagicor or Scotia? This is SGJ's Scotia group, right? Might make some moves, but not too sure. I felt that way as well for a while, but for some reason, I'm still waiting. All right, so very quick call to action. We have a lot to go through. This episode is sponsored by our brand new Learn, Grow, Invest community. So you can go to learngrowinvestclub.com, join our free community. We talk about stocks every day over there. And if you want to ask questions in a safe space, learn how to invest, grow in a community, and invest with confidence, then you want to join our community. And of course, if you're brand new to stocks, you've never invested before, you're not sure what to do, the investment challenge is the place to be. The link is in the description of this video that you're watching right now, or on any platforms that we're on in our bio. So the challenge allows you, if you're just starting out, or maybe you're investing for a while, but you don't have any clear strategy or plan, what I pretty much do in the challenge is teach you a methodology on how to invest, how to do research, how to create what I call your investment thesis, how to make decisions on when to take profit, when to sell, all of that stuff, everything that you need to actually have a profitable investing journey. That's the investment challenge. We still have spaces left for the investment challenge, but that may actually change soon. So just join as soon as you can. It is a monthly subscription, but as I said to somebody just today, that the investment is worth it. And it's honestly, it could be a lot higher than it is right now. So it's $50 per month, and you can pretty much consider that your first investment for 2025. All right. So let me jump right into it, right? Anything that I say here is for education and illustrative purposes only. These are my stocks to watch. This is my watch list. I'm not recommending that you go out and buy these stocks. And so you want to speak to your financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Let's get right into it, all right? So you guys have told me already what your stock to watch is. So let me start with my very first one, and it's Mailpac, right? So Mailpac Group, I have been watching them very closely all of this year, but I don't think they made my list just yet. But I've been watching just some factors that I'll mention a little later. And so I think now is the best time to add them to my watch list, because I've been noticing, for example, so one of the things I always say to my investment challenge community is once you own a company or you're interested in a company, you want to follow them on social media. And if you followed the company that they recently acquired, My Cart Express, they've been opening locations. If you understand the model, they're set up to serve the side of the market that Mailpac doesn't serve. And so with both of them together, I thought, it's a great opportunity to actually increase their market share. But I'm giving it away. Let me get into the details of the stock, then I'll talk about why it's on my watch list. But this is stock to watch number one. As at today, this is December 10th when we're recording this video. The price went from 260 to 268. In the last 52 weeks, it's been as high as $2.80 and as low as $1.90. Market cap stands at 6.5 billion. And of course, year to date, it's actually up 18%, right? Now, they are a dividend paying company, so they would have been on my radar because of that fact. I haven't calculated the yield on this, and we only see one dividend payment for this year. My guess is that was because of the acquisition. So I do expect them to pay a dividend consistently, especially after things normalize. So we look for that. And yeah, let me see what else. Yeah, I just need to calculate the yield on this one, but they do pay consistent dividends. And from when I started tracking them, their dividends were at the time attractive. I have to calculate the yield though, guys, full disclosure on that one. In terms of their most recent report, that would have been their 9 months. If you look to revenues, that's third column on the right, you actually saw about a $500 million increase over the same period last year. And of course, I think that's attributed to the acquisition. Gross profit was higher, but of course, they would have had some expenses, I believe, due to the acquisition, which would have led to, because if you notice that admin and general expenses, that's about 512 million, right? So that would have been due to the acquisition that will not persist. So I believe once that clears up or that sort of normalizes, we should have more profit going to the bottom line because their EPS is actually lower for this 9 months. But of course, you're investing for the future and not the present. And so profit before taxation was 182 million. And I think that next year, this time for the 9 months, they're probably, I'd say, maybe 2.5 billion for the year, or maybe even 3 billion. That's my estimation based on the combined trajectory for both companies. But of course, that's just me extrapolating based on what I think is happening in the market. Yeah, so that's that. Of course, for those who aren't aware, so I saw this note in the last report. I thought I'd mention it because this is something that I am kind of haven't done the math on this yet, right? But in the last report, it mentioned, of course, the acquisition would have been effective April 1st, 2024. The company agreed to issue shares in Mailpac to the owners of MyCart, totaling $137 million, right? Contingent on the 1-year net earnings of MyCart up to March 31st, 2025, right? So we'll wait to see what that looks like, but assuming that goes as planned, then they would be issuing those shares. So of course, you'd have to add that to the shares outstanding and then do things like recalculate your dividends, etc., based on what, like I said, be projected to pay out, etc. So I thought that was worth noting. And of course, it says here, the third quarter has already started to show the expected results from the investments outlined. To date, we have been able to drive seamless integration of MyCart Express, the newly reorganized management team, and implementation technology improvements to cut costs and drive innovation. As we continue to assess the strengths and competencies of the newly formed team and infrastructure, we anticipate significant synergistic benefits, enhanced revenue streams. I'm very interested in that one. Operational efficiencies and increased shareholder value to result from emerging strategies. So they're confident that the company is strategically positioned for continued growth, industry leadership, and sustained success in the evolving e-commerce landscape. All right. And then, of course, these are the reasons I have here that that they're on my watch list, right? So e-commerce in general, I think, well, so personally, I don't think we've ever shipped so many items in 1 year in my household. And wife, if you're watching, yes, I said it, right? No, she will say to me, we are expecting a new baby. So maybe that's why with the baby registry and stuff like that. But with the increase threshold for $100, I think people are going like shipping crazy, right? So a lot of things are, I think that only serves to benefit the market, benefit all the persons who do shipping. Of course, that's going to impact in terms of the strong competition, right? Because all of this is not going to Mailpac. But of course, a rising tide lifts all ships. And so I do expect it's going to find its way to them as well. And I do think with their history of acquisition, if a player is maybe getting, to the point where maybe they're posing a significant threat, who knows? We may very well see them being added to the group at some point. I hope Kari doesn't mind me saying that, but we saw the history of them, working to to acquire Global Couriers. I don't know if you even remember Global Couriers, but we've seen Mailpac have a very clear and strategic acquisition strategy. And I think that bodes well for the company because they will always continue to grow in size with the benefits of all the companies that they acquire. And if you watched Kari's presentation at our Grow Your Wealth conference in 2023, he actually outlined how to scale your business. And I see actually some of the things he mentioned at play in how Mailpac operates, right? So that's stock to watch number one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, of course, if this one is on your watch list as well. I'm going to keep it moving. The next one on my watch list, stock to watch number two, is Dolla Financial Services. And I actually can't believe that this is the first time they're on my watch list since I've been listed. And I think it's just a great time for them in terms of where the company is, how much they've grown. There are talks of a spin-off. Of course, we'll get to that. But let me get into the details first because I'm excited to talk about this one. But let me get to the numbers. So today closed at 296. So that's 2 cents down. Let me get into the other details. So is this correct? It looks correct. Is this? Let me do a quick check here because I'm just have to be sure that because I did so many back to back, maybe. So I want to be sure the numbers are correct here. Okay, 7.46 billion. Okay. I'm sorry. I just wanted to be sure that the numbers are correct because I don't want to mislead anybody here. So trading today was from $2.92 to $3. 52-week range. Certainly, if you were buying at the $2.20 range, you'd be very happy throughout the year. It went as high as $3.69. The market cap is $7.4 billion. 2.5 billion shares outstanding, and it's only grown 9% year to date. Of course, it went as high as 369, but found its way back down. So it's grown marginally, I think, based on how much the company has grown in terms of their profitability, their footprint, their strategic growth. And so, So in terms of dividend, they've paid a 6-cent dividend for 2023, 3 times throughout the year, I think about 2 cents each time. And then for this year, they've paid 9 cents. So the dividend actually went up by 50% here, paid in March, and then of course looking to pay again in August. Well, paid already. I don't know if they're going to announce something else for the year based on where we are. And I know they're really trying to balance out paying dividends versus using capital. But they've been saying that they have greater demand than what they can serve. And so, in terms of their report, and this is in terms of interest income, of course, based on what they do. And I take it for granted that you may be familiar with some of these companies because I'm not going to get into the description of the company for the stocks to watch. We simply don't have enough time. But interest income would be their first line item. So whereas normal companies would have revenues for them would be interest that they collect from loans, right? So that was $1 billion for year to date ending of September, which as you see is higher than it was a year ago. Of course, net interest income would be 903 million. And if we look at, so one of the things I'm watching for Dolla, of course, that admin expenses line, always want to watch. They did say that, of course, they want to remain competitive in terms of salary. If you find talented people, you have to pay them well. But that is one to watch in terms of as the team grows, as the need to retain talent grows, then admin expenses will need to be managed, right? And of course, as a company seeks to expand, then of course, naturally, you may see it show up there. Net profit though, for the 9 months, slight increase over the previous year. That was a bit of, I guess, something I'm watching to see how they finish the year. And of course, the reason why it's on the watch list is again based on what what I'm expecting will be the case for 2025. So we'll get there on the reasons why I'm watching it slide, which is right here, right? So they would have scaled down their operations from Guyana. They had a location there. They're winding down and should finish that wind down in March of next year, based on what they told us this year. So they're seeking to expand within Jamaica. Based on when I last saw that chart, I don't believe they're in all parishes, though I think they serve all parishes. And they're still looking to see how many locations they can get within the country in, of course, strategic locations. But I was able to be at, I think, the store they launched in St. Thomas. It's not, based on my assessment, a high overhead location, right? The locations are very lean, usually just enough staff to facilitate business, have somewhere where somebody can come and see a representative, because we still have a lot of places in Jamaica where people want to see somebody to do business with. And I think that's why they do it. But I seek to be, penetrating those areas that maybe they see where there's great opportunity. And of course, with the landscape now, so I think with high interest rates, with the economy where it is, though it impacts them and their borrowing, it also means that for example, persons in terms of the business sector, which is primarily their core clients, will need the financing that they offer. They do offer faster turnaround time than the bank, which is I think one of the things that may make them appealing to their clients. And of course, we've seen the growth since they're listed, right? Ultra Financier has also been growing based on what I've been seeing. I'm seeing a new marketing campaign. They're in private credit now. I'm interested to see how that plays out. I think the repositioning is strategic. To me, it pointed to maybe a possible spin-off, but I'm not sure that I'm convinced that would be the best thing for them. Not my decision, but of course, while it's within the group, I think it will continue to benefit Dolla shareholders for Ultra to be in the group and continue to grow. I see them building out the team for Ultra as well. They do have strong competition in this sector, and one of the things that we're looking for in terms of the Microcredit Act is to see possible consolidation. But they did address this in that they don't necessarily want to acquire clients that weren't necessarily screened by them. That's my version of what they said. So it's highly competitive, but I think it's enough. I don't think, even if you combine Dolla and Access, there are many other companies out there in the space that I know that I think could list as well. I actually spoke to, I can't tell you guys who this is, but I spoke to a company who was planning to list in the same sector and didn't list, right? So I thought that was interesting to hear, speaking to that owner and just looking at the type of business that they do and just having an appreciation for the market that Dolla has, right? So I put possible consolidation because it's not something that they've said, but I think that on any given month or quarter, we may see something here only because it makes sense for the space. Now, I know it takes a lot of time, etc., but I think if they were able to do this, it would actually give them the kind of growth that they're looking for. Of course, there'll be concerns about financing, but I don't think they'll have an issue since they're now partnering with Mayberry. So that's Dolla. Let me know what you think as well for stocks to watch number 2. After number 3, I will take a short break, but I'm checking on Instagram to see if there are any questions. So 876 XV King, as the market recovers, do I expect financial stocks to lead the recovery? I'll answer that at the end. I'm trying to get through I'm giving myself 10 minutes per pick, and I'm like, I don't know if I have enough time. I may have to shorten it. But as stock to watch number 3, after this, I'll take some questions, take a short break. So stock to watch number 3 is Image Plus Consultants Limited. Now, this company has been, I think, making, well, so hold on, let me check something. Oh, well, no, I just got distracted there. That's our community notifications are turned on. So yeah, Image Plus Consultants Limited. Now they IPO'd, I think, a year and a half, 2 years ago. They IPO'd at $2. So they're actually a discount from IPO price. So that's about a 25% discount. And they closed the day at $1.52, and they've been hovering here for a while, right? So let's see how they've been trading. So $1.50 to $1.52 today. And as I said, it's been hovering there for a while. 52-week range as low as 140, as high as 205. And for a while, it was trading between like $182, $172, etc. Market cap, only 1.8 billion, 1.2 billion shares outstanding. And as you see, the year-to-date numbers, week-to-date, month-to-date, quarter-to-date, etc., all down. And of course, that's one of the first reasons why it's on my watch list, because I thought the stock would actually be going in the other direction, right? So if it's going lower and the fundamentals of the business has not changed, they had a bad quarter, but that to me is just Murphy, right? So their machine was down, and I'll get to that a little later, right? So dividends paid 6 cents last year. They only paid 1 this year. So let me explain this. I'm just noticing that I have it on both sides. So the first side is 2023 dividends. The next side is 2024. So last year they paid a total of 6 cents. This year they've only paid 3. Now they are planning to launch a new location. That is the plan. I think should be completed the end of 2025. Renee, if you're watching, please confirm. And that, I think, is just gonna really give them the opportunity to serve clients in a better way. Now, I've used the service at Image Plus a few times. Excellent service. They do have the shareholder discount. So if you're a shareholder, you do get a discount on scans. And the reason why I'm personally so, I guess, invested in this company, for lack of a better term, is that I've seen the business operate firsthand. I've seen how the business is executed, and I have every confidence that the business will continue to grow, especially based on the stated direction of the company. And let's get into the numbers for a little bit, right? So we saw where, as I mentioned, one of the machines were down, but just a slight dip in revenues for the 6 months. I actually think for the length of time the machine was down, if it wasn't down, of course, these numbers would have been higher. My assumption, of course. So just 18 million down, or 16 million down for the fact that the machine was down for so long. I think that's actually a good thing. It means they would have generated more revenues otherwise. So revenues and gross profit would be down for the 6 months. They did have some increased admin expenses. I don't remember what the report said about that or the earnings call. It was hosted by Renee, but I'm guessing either between the maintenance of the machine versus maybe again just having to do the same thing in terms of maintaining team members there. And interest expense, they did have to leverage their I think line of credit, if I'm not mistaken. And yes, Sean. And I'll also get into why next, right? I'll get into why next, right? Sean is very surprised here, right? Yes, Sean, Image Plus for real. And so the EPS for the 6 months was 1 cent, down from 8 cents last year. And so, of course, yeah, for sure, right? So there is a certain amount of risk there. But of course, that's like saying there's risk to any business in my opinion, because once the issues are addressed, I think I don't see any reason why the business can't continue to grow. Downtime is a part of the business, right? Just like with software, I think with software, for example, even with cloud services like Azure, like AWS, there's usually an SLA for what percentage downtime they're willing to tolerate, in a sense. Now, I'm hoping and trusting that the issues have been addressed as much as they can be, right? And again, the risk is there, but I don't think so. The risk was always there, and the business has been growing. That risk will continue to be there, I think, and they just have to mitigate as best as they can, while understanding that once they do their part, they can't control the rest, right? So it says here, despite the desired build out of modalities, they have not achieved their targeted growth, which means they themselves were projecting growth in revenue based on what they saw for the business. So they continue to take a very clinical approach to review actions needed to achieve the desired mix of scans by modality and source, private versus public patients. They're also actively scanning the market for inorganic growth opportunities, which they have identified, if you note, both the Taking Stock interview and I believe the earnings call that they did. So I think that's something that we'll likely see next year come to fruition, which is also a reason why they're added to the watch list here. So discussions with potential partners in regard to the build out of their new location are progressing as they work towards the best option for the execution of that project. Now, this was a concern for me that I don't believe they gave a timeline to start, right? But the fact that they're, I'll check the timeline here, but discussions with potential partners, I guess I'd maybe want to know which partners specifically they're mentioning here. And then the rest of it is them thanking their board and team. So here are my reasons, right? Let me just do a quick check here. Okay, so I'm going to take questions right after this, all right? So acquisitions, I believe that they're very close based on what they would have communicated. So I think we'll see what that looks like in terms of their revenue growth and potential scan count growth and client growth. They have outlined a clear path to grow the business based on the modalities, locations. The acquisition is also a path to growth, to inorganic growth for them. And then, of course, as I mentioned before, it's actually at a discount to the IPO price. Now, I see 876XV King saying that they've underperformed since listing. I think that's just a function of the state of the market, because fundamentally the company is doing its part, right? So I think it's just the climate where they're not going to necessarily, I think the market presents an opportunity. Let me say it that way, right? So the downtime risk is there, right? For sure, there's a risk there. And I don't think I can name any company on my watch list. I have 3 more to go that doesn't have any risk, right? So the risk is always there. So you have to figure out when you have a company on your watch list whether or not you can manage that risk, right? That's something that you have to think about. Now, for me, I usually, and I shared this process with, well, no, never mind. I was gonna share my process for what I look for before I add a company to my watch list, but I won't get into that right now. So let me take some questions, right? I went through a lot of information. So for those who just joined, the 3 companies on my watch list so far, all junior market companies. I don't know if anybody else noticed that. Mailpac, Dolla Financial Services, and Image Plus Consultants Limited, right? So let me see what everybody is saying here. Troyan is asking, how much is Dolla's loan book compared to Access? I think it's about $1 billion difference. Now, I haven't We did a dollar versus access last year. We need to do another one, right? Gavin is asking, at the end of the presentation, could I give some pointers regarding entry points? Example, 30% below 52-week high, 40%. Gavin, are you trying to get me in trouble, sir? I can't tell you when to buy, right? No, I can. I guess if you're asking what would a recommendation be, or maybe how to look at that, I see what you're saying, but yeah, that's something I probably share. Well, check me on a monthly call. Maybe I'll answer it there, right? Harold, all three of my junior market picks are good dividend paying stocks or have good dividend payment possibilities. No, actually, I don't peg Image Plus as a dividend paying company right now, meaning, yeah, I don't peg them for dividends, honestly. I peg them for growth, right? So there is a balanced portfolio approach that I take. So I look for 3 types of companies to invest in, right? And I share this on our monthly call in the community group. That's, again, I recommend everybody join. So I invest in 3 types of companies. I invest for value, I invest for growth, and I invest for dividends, right? So Image Plus would fit into the value category, and also actually growth, but not the type of growth that maybe a typical junior market company may have. It's more like a slow and steady, but once all the foundation is in place, should grow a lot faster, right? So they would fall in the value category for me, not in terms of dividends though, honestly, just based on where they are right now, because I will need capital to build out the location. So I actually don't think if they pause the dividend until they finish the location, I wouldn't see that as an issue. I'd love to know your thoughts on the performance of 1GS since it went on the market. I'm going to pin that and answer it a little later. Okay, so I'm looking at IG. Artistic Moya said, very good analysis. I'm learning. Thank you for that. That's the idea. Roscoe said he's ready to learn. Well, Roscoe, you can book a one-on-one session with me. You should be investing, especially the proceeds of your business. Highly recommended. Can you speculate any reason why the stock price didn't go much higher than $1 since it went on the market? Are you talking about 1GS? Let me know. Sean says, I really want to hear your thoughts on One Great Studio. I've been disappointed with your performance. I'd love to hear your views. I've bookmarked your comments, guys. I'll see if I have enough time, because I did not know with just me, but I hear my wife saying that I'm a talker, so I shouldn't be surprised that I have more than enough to say when it's just me, right? So Ashton, you're saying Image Plus is a 2026 growth stock. I'm actually saying it's a 2025 growth stock, but unless you mean foundation for 2025 and then growth in 2026, I could say that. Let me see if there are any comments in our community group. Let me check that right now. Okay, let me check Telegram. Okay, cool. All right, so, all right. So what were my stock picks? Limitless. Don't tell me you just joined us. You're just joining us. Yeah. Hey, Kimon, thanks for the follow on IG. Let me see. Okay, cool. All right. All right, so I'm going to take a short break here and get into my next 3. So my next 3 picks are going to be main market companies. So I want you guys to tell me which 3 main market companies you think I'm going to pick. If you're watching this on a replay, tell me as well which 3 main market companies you think I'm going to pick. And here's what I'll do. If you can guess the 3 companies that I'm going to pick for the main market companies in correct, well, it doesn't have to be the same order, but if you guess the 3, so you can't have a 4th or only 2 or only 1. If you guess all 3, I'll give you a one-on-one session absolutely free. So let me see if that will get let me see how that goes, right? What do I think about Dolla and Ultra having different CFOs? I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense because, again, it seems that they're building out Ultra, which I think they should. Now, I don't think they need another CFO until they split, if they split, but I would understand why the workload would maybe be too much because at the rate at which they're growing, so it may make sense. But, you know, something my pastor always says, you know, increase capacity and then, you know, you can grow. So you increase the capacity first and then you grow. Now, I know Trevine is a fan favorite, but I'm sure she would say she wouldn't mind adding somebody to the team to help her, you know, especially on the management side, right? Okay, so I'm going to take a short break here. But for those who are just joining, if you can guess my next three stocks to watch picks for the main market, these are main market companies only, you'll get a free one-on-one consultation. So you have to post it before the break ends and before I start, because once I start naming them, you can't put them in the chat, all right? So I'll be right back, and it'll be a very short break.
Learning is the key to successful investing, and who doesn't want to invest in some way?
Here at L.E.A.R.N. Grow Invest, we focus on financial education, all with the aim of sharing our knowledge on personal finance, investing, and building wealth. We do this on the foundation of our faith in God.
If a more holistic approach is what you need, check out our Grow Faith-based financial coaching program.
Find out more about us at learngrowinvestclub.com
and follow us on all social media platforms at Learn, Grow, Invest. Learning is the key to successful investing, and who doesn't want to invest in some way?
Here at L.E.A.R.N. Grow Invest, we focus on financial education, all with the aim of sharing our knowledge on personal finance, investing, and building wealth. We do this on the foundation of our faith in God.
If a more holistic approach is what you need, check out our Grow Faith-based financial coaching program.
Find out more about us at learngrowinvestclub.com
and follow us on all social media platforms at Learn, Grow, Invest. All right.
Okay, cool. So I'm seeing some interesting picks in the chat. And so far, I am seeing that nobody has it correct. But in terms of all the stocks that have been mentioned here tonight, I have seen them already. So I'm giving you a clue, right? So all three are there, but not all three from one person. And so I see Greg Foster say A.S. Bryden. Wow. A.S. Bryden. Okay. No. 876 Viking says SVL, Jamaica Broilers, and Sagicor. Interesting. I think you're probably new to the channel. I don't think SVL will ever make a list for me. Kodian says Tropical, TransJamaican, NCB. Okay. Amar says TransJamaica, GK, and LASEM. I really, really like LASEM, guys. Really like it, but it didn't make the list, unfortunately. NB Lee says A.S. Bryden, Massey, and GK. Let me call out two more. So, Kodian, how come you're guessing more than once? That's not how the game works. You can't guess more than once. Make sure I look before I say that nobody has all three. I don't see all three, so I'll give literally another minute for you guys. Yeah, LASEM is yeah. All right, Noel says TransJamaica, Wigton, and NCB. Roger says Massey, Panjam, and Dolphin Cove. Now, I'm watching Dolphin Cove very closely because that is my dividend stock. Now, okay, so since I'm waiting to see what everybody is saying, I am going to start a brand new series called Dividend Stocks to Watch, right? because I realized that sometimes I'll include the dividend stocks in my stocks to watch. I want to separate it because I'll be tracking the dividend stocks separately next year, because and I'll share this in our community meetup as to what I'm looking for 2025. So if you want to hear my thoughts on how I'm looking at the market for next year and things of that nature, you need to be a part of our community group. Good night, Lullaby Lounge. Wigton, JP, and SJ. Darrain says SVL Carreras and the next one. Okay. All right, guys. I'm not seeing anybody. I'm so sorry. So it's submissions are closed. Oh, I like this three. Gen Z, good stuff. Okay. So number 4 is Jamaica Broilers. All right. So Jamaica Broilers is, I remember when I used to trade this company, right when I just learned how to invest, and I've made a lot of money trading this company only because back in like 2017, 2018, it used to just trade between like 30 and 40 and then 22 to 30. Like it would just have this real nice spread for trading. So I'd buy like, 1,000 units, 2,000 units, 3,000 units, because I didn't have a lot of capital at the time. And I would just, like clockwork, just make a lot of money in the short term with this company. Now, it doesn't trade the same way now, unfortunately, but I think it's the right time to be added to my watch list. I see Cody and saying, getting excited as well. I hope. So it closed today at $36.54. That's 49 cents up. And there's so much just from that one thing that I could say, but I'm going to keep it moving, right? So it traded today between 36.20 and 37.39. Now look at the same thing that I was saying before in terms of that spread. That 52-week range, guys, that's 33%, right? $30 to $40, that's 33%, right? So this company does seem to trade within like a certain band. So there's so much I could say about Jamaica Broilers. Market cap 43.8 billion, 1.199 billion shares outstanding. Year to date, only up 7%. So I think that's a really great opportunity. I really think this stock should be trading a lot higher. I think it's just a solid company. I think that they're only positioned to grow, not just in Jamaica, but the markets in which they have for the rest of the world, right? They're gaining ground in the US. Of course, there's a lot of opportunities there. Like they could, if they doubled their business in the US, they probably wouldn't even make a dent in the whole market, right? They're like, I don't remember how much people in the US, but there are a lot of people that you can serve, right? But I think they're just, I guess, picking their spots. I'm trying to remember the interview that the CEO did on Mayberry Forum. I need to rewatch that episode. They did a great breakdown of the process and their growth strategy, how they look at the overseas market, etc. So just look for a Mayberry in Investor Forum interview with Jamaica Broilers, and I think you'll find some great information. If you're not familiar with the company, everybody eats chicken, right? So for 2023, they paid 86 cents, right? 86 cents in dividends. And for this year, they've paid 69 cents. I don't think they'll announce another one. And so this is where they are in terms of dividends for the year. Look at, so this, guys, is in billions, right? 47 billion in terms of revenue. Now, one of the things I always note is that it's harder for a company doing billions in revenue to grow like 100% or 50%, right? It's going to be very hard, right? So for 6 months, 47 billion, that's excellent, right? That's going close to what, 100 billion at this run rate for the year. in terms of gross profit, pretty much flat, slightly lower than previous. Distribution costs, relatively the same. Operating profit down. So here's the thing, guys. And I hear the question in my head, why am most of the stocks I've shared so far are actually down. That's actually a part of when a company may enter my watch list, right? So if I think they've had a quarter that's maybe not the most attractive, but the big picture, I'm thinking that they're still growing, then it would make sense to add it to my watch list at that point. Just to comment on anybody who may be asking that question, right? Because the thought process may be, profits are going down, why is it time to look at it? That's actually when I think you should have a look, because that's when other investors may be moving away and it may present a buying opportunity for you. All right, so here's why I'm watching it, and this is a shorter one, of course. Strong operations in Jamaica. Resilient and growing demand. I've never seen this many places selling chicken in all my life, right? My wife and I tried a brand new place today. It's very interesting to see, right? So I don't think the demand for chicken will ever be met, especially for me. For example, I share a personal thing where my doctor has actually told me to stay away from red meat. So I'm eating more chicken now than I've ever had, right? Maybe that's why I like it, who knows, right? Consistent dividend, as you saw as well. Solid company, not just a favorite of mine, but if you guys remember Andre Thompson as well, this is one of his favorites. And I've let him have it for a while, but it's finally on my watch list as well. And I think it's going to be a good year for them next year. All right. Omar says, I liked it when it was at 26, but I didn't buy it because I lacked confidence. No, I think I missed it. Okay, so let me just pause and address this. You never miss an opportunity to buy a stock. It's never a straight line. It's never just one opportunity. And if I talk, when will I get to talk about TransJamaica again? I don't know when I'll talk about TransJamaica, but I think TransJamaica is a perfect example of saying that you don't just have one opportunity, right? Jerry C says broilers making overseas exports for sure. And Troy said KFC was open during the hurricane. Seriously, guys, I've never seen the demand for chicken be so great, right? It's ridiculous, right? And if Julian Morrison was here, and I like his style in terms of he looks at what consumer trends and patterns are to lean into the companies that he looks at, right? And I think since I heard him say that, it really stuck with me, because I tend to start to do the same thing now, where I'm looking at what the trends are, right? And yeah, as I said, I don't think the model that we have in terms of demand for chicken is going away anytime soon. So my next one, brand new to my watch list, is Kingston Wharves. Now I saw it in the list for somebody. Let me see who it was who said it, because I've never mentioned it before. So S. Arnold said NCB, LASM, and Kingston Wharves. So I thought that was good to say at least one person mentioned it, right? Kingston Wharves is my number 5 stock to watch for 2025. So it closed today at $31. It's pretty much was flat for the day. So the range for today is $30.97 to $31. Pretty much didn't move. 52-week range though, and you look at that, that's like almost 50%, right? $24 to $35. It's one of those companies that people don't talk about, right? I remember when I just started investing, I only would look at companies that cost $10 or less, because I'm like, all these ones in 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. I remember NCB at the time was high as like, I'm not looking at any of those. But look here, All right, 52-week range, $24 to $35. That's almost 50%, right? So that's an opportunity. So year to date is 14% in terms of growth. A quarter to date up 11%, 44.3 billion in market cap and 1.4 billion shares outstanding. A company that I actually met the CEO recently. Interestingly enough, I'm hoping to get an interview with him soon. You should watch their AGMs. You should check out their annual reports. They have great plans for the future. I'll talk about it a little bit later, of course. Dividends last year, 68 cents paid. I think they just announced one, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong, right? So NB Lee says, glad that you're looking at Kingston Wharves. I was wondering about them. They're expanding too. Yes, they are, right? So 68 cents in dividends paid last year, 26 cents for this year. So they paid twice last year. They only paid once this year, again, probably because of the expansion, but they're known for paying consistent dividends, right? And I think if I had enough time, I probably do a deep dive for them, right? It's the one that I'm probably the most excited about in terms of stock to watch right now. Well, no. So I'm interested in them and Mailpac in the same way, right? I do think that it's just a great opportunity for this type of business. I think that the expansion that they've been doing, and let me get to that slide. I think I have it on a slide. Okay, let me go through the numbers first, and then we talk about that. So for the 9 months, 7.8 billion in revenues. I think this is in JMD. 3.4 billion in terms of gross profit. Operating profit slightly down. Finance costs were higher as well, almost doubled here. And net profit for the period slightly down from last year. Now, I don't, again, same thing that I said before. I don't think this is something that will hold true moving forward in terms of that decline, in terms of the investments that they would have made. And so I think it's just a great opportunity. Simone. My main market stocks are expensive for your budget. I'm buying cheaper stocks where I can get the volume. Does that make sense? Simone, don't leave. I'm going to answer this before we end the stream, right? Simone says, my main market stocks are expensive for her budget. I can't stop laughing, right? So Kingston Wharves, S.R.N. said, because I mentioned Mailpac, figured I would consider KW2. It makes sense, right? Because usually when you do research, you're looking at the industry, right? So S.R.N. sounds like you're in our Telegram group, not our Telegram group, our community group. All right, let me get through this, then we can have a discussion. So Kingston Wharves continues to strengthen its position as leading shipping gateway terminal and logistics service provider. Despite global challenges facing the shipping industry, they have maintained targeted investments to drive growth, optimize operational performance, and expand its services. Let me pause there, right? Because I think sometimes when companies use these words, investors, we don't really know what this means, right? The company would have invested in infrastructure, right? And we talk about, for example, TransJamaica as an infrastructure company. What they're building out as well is infrastructure, right? Because once they build out their capacity, it will always be there, right? And once you get to a certain size, it's really about driving efficiencies in terms of your operations to kind of squeeze out as much profit as you can. So the recent completion of a US $30 million renovation, right? That's massive, right? Allowing for accommodation of larger vessels. This new infrastructure enhances their transshipment capabilities and sets the stage for future developments in yard space and gate operations, positioning them as positioning them competitively as a strategic Caribbean gateway terminal. And guys, please watch their AGM. It's on their YouTube channel. They'll show you, videos. I think actually Limitless Podcast did a video on them as well, if I'm not mistaken. And it says here they remain on target to implement further strategic initiatives to improve terminal efficiency, such as reorganizing terminal space and reallocating on-dock warehouses to more convenient off-dock location. These upgrades will support their commitment to delivering enhanced customer experience. So it was a friend who I met at an AGM who first put this company on my radar. I can't remember her name right now, but if you're watching, thank you, right? She mentioned it to me. And so, she's like, Jermaine, what about Kingston Wharves? I'm like, what about them? And so that's when I started to check out the AGM and, heard what they had to say. No, I'm not a shareholder yet. I'm not a shareholder as at the point of this video I said yet, because of course, as I said before, once I see what I'm looking for, because a watch list is just that, right? It's a watch list, right? So their focus on sustainable growth is reflected in their capital investments in berthing, automotive handling, and digital transformation initiatives, all of which align with their vision to maintain Kingston as a modern, multi-purpose port. Beyond infrastructure, their success depends on dedication to their team, and so on and so forth. Okay. So recent expansion, one of the reasons why I'm really, really excited about this one. Efficiency is an upgrade. I think, if you meet the team, if you look at how they speak at their AGM, how they execute, and of course, with the global recovery not fully there, I think I think the future is going to be very, very interesting, right? We don't know what the US is going to do yet in terms of a lot of their decisions. Of course, new president, so we have to wait to see. But I think them positioning themselves in the way that they have means great opportunities for them, right? So excellent company, I think, excellently run. Great strategic and long-term vision, consistent dividends. It is priced higher, but I remember saying that you shouldn't watch the price, right? Look at a company like Seprod. I bought Seprod when it was $23. Seprod is $84 now, right? I sold, of course, at about $60, but you get my point, right? You don't want to watch the price because that may limit you from buying something that's really good, right? And that's for you, Simone, right? That's for you. Saying you didn't mean it that way. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so Limitless said yes, they did a Kingston Wharves stickers review. Limitless, share that share that link in the chat and do a comment under the video with it, please. And guys, I think Limitless is trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so please. There are 118 people on this live right now. When you're finished, click on Limitless Podcast page, give them a subscribe. They're covering similar content to what you're watching now. They actually go very, very in depth with some of their reviews. Excellent channel. You should check it out. All right, what's my take on Massey? I'm not covering Massey tonight, royalty, but maybe one day. Which of my watch list stocks do I own right now? I can't say. I can't say. Yeah, subscribe to Limitless Podcast, guys, please. And when you subscribe to them, comment under their video to let them know you came over from the L.E.A.R.N, Grow, Invest channel, because I want them to know that, I sent you over there, right? Limitless is saying, what was it that changed in the companies that made you buy them? Limitless, that sounds like a community group question. I can't answer that here. I told my wife I'd end this episode in an hour. We're gone 1 hour and 5 minutes, and I haven't shared my last one yet. So guys, I'm going to give you a chance, final chance. I have one stock to watch left. It's a main market company. And I'm going to ask you guys to let me know which one you think it is in the chat, please, while I catch my breath here. So nobody's saying anything? Oh, okay. Let me take your 1GS question before I answer the last one. All right. Please don't forget my 1GS question about my thoughts on the performance and reasons why it may not have gone above. So those are two different questions, right? So So I'd have to look at their report. I probably should do as a stock review. So let me do a stock review because I have not. So the last time I think I looked at 1GS, it's been a while. It's been a while. So I can't answer in the way that I would want, unfortunately, right? But I am noting your question, and please, if you're in our new community group, post it because we're having a community call on the 20th of December. And so I'll try to just have a look at it before then. I'm so sorry to do this to you, by the way, because I'm thinking about it now, and I don't know what's been happening the last few months with them, right? So I think they traded today at, let me check. Let me have a look as to where the price is. Okay, yeah, so I'd have to really look at this one. So they closed today at 64 cents. Yeah, so I'm sorry I can't answer now, but okay, so to get the community group, look at the link in the description. Let me share the link in the chat right now. And then for those of you who want to learn how to invest, then you need to join our investment challenge, right? So the community group is free. So I just shared the link in the chat, but the investment challenge is paid, and trust me, it's worth the investment for those who don't know how to invest. So let me see. So nobody got the final one correct. I can't believe you guys. All the regulars should know what I'm gonna say next. I feel like I don't even need to do it, right? My final stock to watch for 2025 is no surprise at all to anybody, of course, TransJamaica. And I'll tell you why. So it actually was not on the list until I saw where it closed today, right? So you're seeing the price, $4.26, all the way down from $4.98. For that simple reason, I'd say it's on my watch list now, only because at a week and a half ago, $4.98. Ed Billy says that one is not a watch, but a buy. Well, I'm already a shareholder, so I'm watching, right? Of course, if I see a price that calls out to me, then I certainly will make that move. I've been a shareholder since $1.20, right? So not much I can say about this one that you don't already know. But the price right now, I think, is extremely attractive. That's one of the first things. So close today at $4.26, 2.52% down. And great question, right? What is going to drive growth for TransJamaica in 2025? Great question. Let me pin that so I can go back to it. So first thing, today's range, $4.18 to $4.35, a 52-week range. And this is not a typo, $2.53 to $4.98, right? So that's almost 100% in the last 52 weeks, right? And for those who don't think you have opportunities to invest in 52 weeks, right? So you got your dividends, and in 52 weeks, you'd have gotten almost 100%, right? For those who didn't take profit, I don't know what to tell you, right? So Sean says, I can't believe the stock went to $4.20. That's insane. What do you mean? It was there. It can go back there, right? Market cap 53 billion. It's a large company, right? Large in terms of market cap. Shares outstanding 12.5 billion, right? So it's very liquid, but that what I've been seeing, right? And so I really could have spoken about this stock for the whole hour. Trust me, right? But let me get to the numbers first, and I'll talk about them for the rest of the time. So dividends for 2023 was 18 cents, and that yield, right? So my average price, I don't remember what my average price was, but when I calculated the yield, it was ridiculous. My yield was definitely over double digits based on when I started buying, right? Dividends for this year, they paid twice. So I think that threw a lot of people off because they thought the dividend was 18 cents and it came down to 9 cents. They were confused. So I just saw that as an opportunity, right? So when the 9-cent dividend came out, and guys, what you need to do, and I'll say this to everybody now watching this video, when we release our content, you need to watch all of it. Because sometimes I think you ask questions about things that have answered in past videos, but you need to watch all the video, because the average views we have for our videos are like 15 minutes, 17 minutes. So this is an hour-long video. We don't do video shorter than an hour. So when you watch the first 20 minutes and then you click off, you actually miss some very valuable content, right? So there's that. Let's look at their 9 months. So this is in US dollars for sure. $60 million in 9 months, right? That's up from last year. Their operating expenses were relatively the same. Admin expenses went up. Finance costs pretty much are the same. Their net profit though grew, right, from 17 million US to almost 22 million US, right? That's $5 million US more. And of course, their earnings per share went up, right? So I think when persons maybe look at their report, they think it's in Jamaican dollars, but this is US dollars, right? So why am I adding this company back to my watch list, right? Williams Field Toll has not yet, like, so all those persons driving on the Williams Field Toll, keep driving, keep building up the habit. You know what's gonna come for 2025. In their report, it mentioned that a gas station, I believe, partnered with Rubis, will be opening soon, and I do see other opportunities for them where that is concerned. Now, the TransJamaica AGM, if you're a shareholder, is an excellent one to attend. They do stream it online as well. Actually saw Ivan this week. Well, I saw him twice in 1 week, actually, right? Increased numbers here is toll numbers, right? So I do think as more visitors come, as more cars are being added to the road, it's only going to bode well for them, right? And we have here dividends plus. So in addition to the services that they'll be offering, they're also planning, based on their prospectus, to increase their dividend in 2025, right? If you don't know what I'm talking about, please read the prospectus. So do I think a dividend notice will drive up the price again? Well, I'm counting on it, right? Because I'm expecting the next dividend announcement to be higher. So last year they did, well, this year they did 9 cent. I'm expecting at least 15 cents for the next one, or at least 12 to 15. And so if they double that, that'd be 30 cents, or maybe even, let's say, 24 to 30 cents for the year. That would be, I think, very good for the company. So Gen Z says POS systems will be up for the Portmore leg coming early next year. Infrastructure start to work on. John saying, please like the video. Guys, thank you so much, by the way. I think, so mentally, I've stopped asking for persons to like the video. I think it's something that you do once you've found value. So for those who haven't liked it yet, I'm assuming that the content is not valuable for you. For those who have, thank you so much, all right? Troyan says, who do I think is buying up all those millions of TransJamaica shares? I don't know. Maybe me, I don't know. Where's the podcast on YouTube for TransJamaica? What do you mean? Their AGM is on their YouTube channel, right? I think there was another site that could have closed the show, but I see what you're doing with TransJamaica. What do you mean? No, Gavin, what do you mean you won't load it up? Excuse me now. Are you, you see what I'm trying to do? Please be clear. Please be clear. Because I've been talking about TransJamaica on this channel for the past 2+ years, right? So this is not new. I'm not doing anything apart from sharing my watch list with you. And investment companies are buying TransJamaica shares. So investment companies, pension funds, yeah, I think so. What are my thoughts on the 8%? I mean, what do you mean? It's a very straightforward thing. You get your 8% yield. It is tradable. It's no thoughts there, except if that's something that you're interested in that fits your preferences, go right ahead. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your attention. I think this was, I wasn't sure how the format would go. I think I tried to give you more information and context as to why these stocks are on my watch list. So let me know if the new format was helpful for you. I'll take questions for 5 minutes and then I have to go. It's already 8:30 here. So if you have any investment questions, feel free to post them now. I'll take 3, maybe 4 questions over the next 5 minutes. No, I mean, new or not, Gen Z, I just want to know, because he said, he sees what I'm doing, he won't load it up. So that just kind of triggered something for me. So just let me know. No, I don't make assumptions as to what his intent is. So that's why I'm asking him to let me know. Sean is asking, do I think Mailpac will continue to grow given their competition? Yes, I do. I do for sure. I do for sure. What about Wigton for 2025? What about them? Diane, you shouldn't be asking me this question. What about Wigton? What about Wigton? Gonna put all my savings into stocks for 2025. Before you do that, book a one-on-one consultation with me. Tasha is what I would say. So I can't wait for the dividend watch list too, because that's a new, so of course I'm gonna have to calculate the yield and everything. I'm gonna go through a whole process for it. So that's coming up next week. So subscribe if you want to catch that one. You notice a pattern, I'm doing more dividend videos, and that's for a very specific reason, right? Maybe I'll share why later on. Who do I think is selling out dollar at $3 below and why? I don't speculate for those things. I don't know. I just usually wait for the disclosure or I look for the top 10. It's hard to know who is selling and why. That's very hard to guess for me. Why didn't Wigton make the list? So here's the thing. I did have some energy stocks in my portfolio this year, and those aren't ones I'm watching for next year. Did TransJamaica say we should expect dividends to increase? From what I recall in their prospectus, Paper Plate, did TransJamaica say we should expect the dividend to increase? Review the prospectus. Why didn't Tropical make the list? I don't know, Sean. That's what my son would say. I don't know. Any financial company you're watching that did not make the overall watch list? No. Because I'm not bullish on the financial sector right now, honestly. I think they still have a ways to go. Now, I will say, let me say this. I am noting that NCB has begun to turn things around in terms of profitability. Not to the point of adding them to my watch list yet, but that is good to see, right? That's what I can say for now. Was just saying it's a definite buy, and no, I'm not new at all. First time commenting though. Well, thank you for commenting. It sounded like you were saying something else though, but it's all right, no problem. Thanks for clarifying. Limitless, I'm just reading your comment. It's all good. It's all good. Thanks, guys, so much for being here. Let me do one final call to action before I close out. Join our community. Now, if you are brand new to the channel, which you may not know what we do, why we do it, etc., we have a brand new community group that we're inviting you to. It's completely free. I just shared the link, or you can go to learngrowinvestclub.com. The link is at the top of the website. We have monthly calls in that group. I do have impromptu calls. So for those of you who are in the community, I had a live call this Monday gone. I was on for about 40 minutes, took some questions. It was impromptu. So you have to turn on notifications within the community. It notified everybody that I went live. So you might have seen it in your email. I will do that from time to time. And for those of you who are brand new to investing, or investment challenge is what you should be participating in. So first we have 11 monthly calls that you have access to immediately as you join. So even if it's a few weeks away from the next month end's call, you get to watch all those videos. You get access to our private community group. We talk about strategies to take profit and to reinvest, how to research stocks, how to build your own investment thesis. You get pretty much direct access to me, well, more direct than here on YouTube. And it's something that we're having each month into the future, right? It's something that I see where it's of great value to just meet and have like an intentional discussion about investing, not from the sense of me talking to you here like this on YouTube, but all of us come together. We're tracking stocks each month. We're talking about different stocks. We're looking at how to do research, what factors are interesting to watch. So what we did for the last monthly call is we looked at Wisynco. So we did a research for Wisynco, spoke about what we liked, what we didn't like. And so we've added Wisynco to our watch list for the challenge. And we'll talk about that in the coming months. See how they perform. But the challenge is really, if you want to make progress with your investing, that's where I would start, right? So let me share the link for the challenge here. And of course, you can see the link in the description as well. Let me do a quick check for IG to see if there are any questions. I think this is the most persons we've had on IG as well. So thanks everyone for coming out there as well. I don't know if we're going to be doing any more videos for the year as yet. I think maybe one more, the dividend stocks to watch for sure. I think I want to do a portfolio review episode, but I have to see if I can get all of my transactions for the year. I thought about just sharing my portfolio. Let me know if you're interested in that. Comment below the video, not in the chat, because the chat will go away for me after the live ends. But if you're interested in seeing that episode, just let me know in the comments. And thanks to everyone for watching. I really do enjoy this episode. Hopefully you did as well. And I'll see you again very soon.
Learning is the key to successful investing. And who doesn't want to invest in some way?
Here at L.E.A.R.N Grow Invest, we focus on financial education, all with the aim of sharing our knowledge on personal finance, investing, and building wealth. We do this on the foundation of our faith in God.
If a more holistic approach is what you need, check out our Grow Faith-based financial coaching program.
Find out more about us at learngrowinvestclub.com
and follow us on all social media platforms at Learn, Grow, Invest. Learning is the key to successful investing, and who doesn't want to invest in some way?
Here at L.E.A.R.N Grow Invest, we focus on financial education, all with the aim of sharing our knowledge on personal finance, investing, and building wealth. We do this on the foundation of our faith in God.
If a more holistic approach is what you need, check out our Grow Faith-based financial coaching program.
Find out more about us at learngrowinvestclub.com
and follow us on all social media platforms at Learn, Grow, Invest.